Hello guys, today I want to show you how to use the list data type properly in Java. Let's go to the code. I have this public class main and this main method, and I'm going to write the code here. So let's start with creating a list. So create a list. I create a list of strings. Let's say it's fruits. New array list. Now let's add elements to this. Fruits dot add apple. Fruits dot add banana. And fruits dot add cherry. Now our list has 3 elements. Now let's access an element. Fruits dot get the first element. Get helps us to access a specific element in the fruit list, and we are passing an index of 0, so it should be apple. Let's have a look. Yes, it's apple. Now let's change an element. First of all, let's look at the list. This is our list. Then we want to change the second element in the list, so the index is 1. We say that at index of 1 means the second element. Now let's put it blueberry, for example. The second element here is banana. We want to change the second one, the banana, with blueberry. So let's look at it again after. So this is before, and we change, and this is after. So look at the fruits. Here I have apple, banana, cherry, but in the second attempt, after the change, it is apple, blueberry, cherry. So the blueberry is now in here instead of banana. So let's remove an element. Let's say fruits dot remove the element at index 2, means the third element. So cherry, we are removing the cherry here. So let's look at fruits. Let's see. We have removed the cherry, which is the element at the third location, 0, 1, 2. Excuse me. Now let's iterate over a list. For iterate over a list. For a string fruit inside fruits, let's print the fruit. So let's have a look. And it only has apple and blueberry. So we print out these 2 elements. Now let's check if the list contains an element. So let's check if the list contains an element. Let's say boolean has apple, boolean has apple, fruits dot contains apple. With contains, we can check to see if this list contains this element. So let's have a look. Sout, which is system.println, out.println, has apple. So do you think we have apple? By looking at this list here, we can see there is an apple. So let's see if there is an apple. Yes, has apple, true. So this is how to check if the list contains an element. Now let's get the size of the list. Get the size of the list. So integer size equals fruits dot size. This is how we get the size of a list. So sout size. Let's have a look at the size. It should be 2 because we only have 2 elements here. So that's correct. We have 2 elements. Now let's remove all the elements from the list. You might need to remove all the elements from a list. So this is how we do it. Remove all elements. Fruits dot clear clears our list. So which fruits, let's have a look. Fruits is now an empty list. So let's create another list. Let's create another list here. This time we want to use some feature to populate the list easily. So instead of creating a list and then one by one adding the elements into the list, we want to add all the elements to the list in one line. So I call this one numbers, and I use this method, arrays.asList. Here I can say 1 3 1 4 1 5 9. Instead of creating a list like this and one by one adding elements, now using the arrays as list, I just pass the elements that I want, and it creates the list and populates with these items. Now we want to talk a little bit about how to sort the list. There are different ways of sorting a list in Java, which sometimes is confusing even for an experienced developer. So I'm going to show you all the ways that you can sort a list in Java. One of them is for sort the list. One of them is using collections. Collections.sort. And we just pass the name of our list and it sorts this one. If you look at here, it is not sorted here, but this one sorts the numbers. So let's have a look at the numbers. Let's have a look. So numbers are now all sorted. So from small to the big number, which is ascending by default. So collections dot sort. Now what if we want to have in descending order? How do we do that? Again, we can use collections dot sort. We pass the same list, which is numbers, but now we pass another parameter, which is collections dot reverse order. We want to sort in reverse order, descending. So let's have a look. What happens? Look at here. Numbers now starts from 9 and goes up to 1. This is one way of doing that. There is another way of sorting the list, but this time without using collections. This time we want to use using the list itself. So every list, like numbers here, has a sort function in it. So if I use this sort and pass null, it will sort in ascending order for us. So let's have a look. Numbers. So we don't need to use collections.sort. The numbers, the list itself has a sort function, sort method. Look at here, numbers are now sorted again as in ascending order or in a natural order. What if we want to sort it in reverse order? Again, we can say numbers dot sort, and in here instead of null we can pass the same collections dot reverse order. that we passed to collections.sort, the same thing can be passed to this one, and it sorts in reverse order. So let's have a look. Look at here. Now we sorted in the reverse order. There are two other ways for sorting this. There are more than that, but let's look at another way. We can use again number.sort, but instead of passing null, we can pass something else. We can say numbers.sort. We can say comparator.natural order. Instead of collections, here we use comparator.natural order. So we use the sort function, sort method on the list, the same as here. But instead of null, we pass comparator.natural order, which gives us a better understanding of what's happening. So if I look at this one, it should be sorted in natural order, which is from 1 to 9. Let's have a look. This is from 1 to 9. How about the reverse? We can also use the comparators for the reverse. So I can say numbers.sort comparator.reverse order. Look at here, it's very the same as collections.reverse order. For sorting the number, we can pass collections.reverse order, or we can use comparator.reverse order. Both of them do the same thing. So let's have a look. Look, this is reverse order. So let's look at it again. Either we use collections or the sort method in the list. If we want to use the sort method in the list, we can either use the collections or use the comparators. Both of them gives us the same thing. There is another way of sorting, which I can say numbers.sort, and we tell the sort how to sort to numbers, because the sort doesn't know how to check two elements in the object in the list. It wants to check elements to each other to see which one is greater, which one is smaller, but it doesn't know how to do it. So we will tell him that use integer, and from integer use compare_to method. So we are saying that from integer class there is a compare_to method for comparing each pair of the elements in these numbers. Use this method, and this for us sorts the list. Let's have a look again. Look at here, it sorts in a natural way. Another way of sorting is using streams. So in this case I need to have another list, and I say it's sorted numbers because the original list won't be changed. So we have numbers, we get a stream from that numbers, we say okay, sort it for us and collect it for us. So here sorted numbers are sorted. Let's have a look. This is our numbers won't change, but the sorted numbers has the sorted representation of that list. So for these are all when we work with numbers. What if we work with some classes that are custom classes, custom built classes, like a person? How does that sort function or sort method know how to sort it for us based on what property? I have created a class person here. If you look at this class, it has a name and age, a constructor to get and set the name and age, and the getters and setters. So there are one name and one age. So based on this, let's do a little bit of interesting sortings. So here, using a custom object. Okay, so here I create a list of person I will name it as people, arrays dot as list. I have one person, the name of the person, let's say, is A, and the age is 20. We have another person here, the name is B, and the age is, let's say, 10. So our people list has 2 elements. Okay, so let's say list dot person sorted people. Now let's get a stream dot sorted. Okay, now the sorted function, the sorted method, doesn't know how to compare each 2 person. Which property is important for us? We want to search based on name, based on age, what? For example, I want to sort based on name, so I will use comparator here. Comparator dot comparing, and I will say use the person class get name function or method. So I'm saying for comparing these, go to the person class, each person, and get the name. So basically we are saying compare it by name. And then we collect, and let's have a look. So if you look at here, the A is before B because we are sorting based on name. So name comes, A comes before B. How about if you want to sort based on age? So we use the same sorted people, and we say people dot stream dot sorted. Now we use comparator dot comparing. Now this time we say use age instead of name, and then collect. So let's have a look at sorted people now. This one is based on age. So look at here, B comes first because B is 10 years old, and then A comes because A is 20 years old. So this is how we sort a custom list. Now let's filter a list. Now let's filter the list. Let's have a person list. We say adults, and we say people dot stream dot, now this time filter. We pass a function to that, a lambda, to say what is important for us. So we say for each person that we receive, the person dot age, get age, should be more than 18 years. Dot collect dot collect. Now let's have a look. Let's look at the adults. Okay, this is only A because A is only bigger than 18 years old. So I know it is a little bit complicated. There are multi-way use of sorting, which is a little bit complicated. But in this tutorial, in this video, I showed you all the ways that you can do. There is nothing more than this. So if you practice things in here, this method, you will have a very good understanding of lists and functions applicable on lists in the Java, which sometimes the experienced developers might get confused. If you're finding this video helpful or interesting, it's a good time to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to show you lots of amazing stuff here in this channel. Thank you for watching, and see you later.